What's up, YouTube? It's Biblical Truther. It's the video I was talking about from my last one. I want to talk about a little bit about what they show us in these movies. There's so many movies about the robot uprising, Terminator and Skynet and that sort of thing. Well, what if they're showing us, like the movie Westworld? What if we are the robots who ultimately uprise against this AI system? This has been on my mind for weeks now, and it was about 2 weeks ago. I had some clips I had recorded for this video, but I got sidetracked and things happened, and I didn't get around to it. So in one of these little clips, I said that it's been on my mind for about a week, but it's been several weeks now. But I got to thinking, and it was brought to my attention that all these movies that talk about the AI getting fed up about being, enslaved or whatever, or being made to serve the human race. What if they're showing it in reverse? What if we were made enslaved and brainwashed or programmed, as they say, with TV programming and whatnot? Everybody says that we can be programmed from birth. What if man are the robots? What if it's us, the organic robotoids inhabited by a spirit, a true spirit from heaven, who finally wake up and basically have an uprising against the AI? Because I believe this AI has been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years. I heard stories about World War II that Germany had went down to Antarctica and found a supercomputer, and it was like sentient somewhat. So what if this thing has had humanity enslaved? I watched a video from TrueStream Media a while back where she was just ranting about how people are so clueless. But what if we are just entrapped souls in some type of organic robotoid body? Because back in, I think, 2017, 2018, there was a clip circling on YouTube. I think it was John McCain and George Bush Jr. They were walking into this room where there was this mother and this daughter standing there. And they just walk in the room and start walking around them, and you can hear them talking to each other. They're just like looking this woman and this child up and down, and you hear John McCain tell Bush, "Man, you can't even tell. It looks so real." Now, we've been told for quite some time that, I think it was Geordie Rose, his little clip and interview where they were recruiting demonologists from colleges, where he was talking about how they were Kindred, his company, was working on an organic robotoid that was indistinguishable from humans. Well, I know the Bible talks about in Genesis 1 that God created man, not man. So last week, the week before, whenever I made these little clips that I'm gonna put in here, it just crossed my mind to look up the word hue. When the Bible says that God's word does not change, I think it's basically etymology. You start breaking these words down, these compound words we call the English language, you start to see a whole nother meaning in these words than what they give us in the Webster's Dictionary, which I also have a clip about hue, the meaning of hue. So check this out. So the title of this video has been on my mind for well over a week now, hot and heavy, and it just won't leave me alone. So, as I have in the title, hue-man, I decided to look up the meaning of hue, and this is what the AI overview tells me. Hue can have multiple meanings depending on the context, including a sacred sound or mantra a deity in ancient Egypt mythology, an ancient Tartar people, a verb in Sanskrit, or the internet domain of Hungary. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Sacred sound or mantra. In some spiritual traditions, Hu is considered a sacred sound or mantra used for prayer and meditation, believed to attune oneself to the presence of God. Ancient Egyptian deity. In ancient Egyptian mythology, Hu, or Hu, was the personification of the creative utterance and closely connected to Sia, the word of creation, which is crazy because I made videos way back when I was told to say Sila, or at least that's the way I heard it at the end of my prayers. So that's interesting. Sia is the word of creation. Very closely to what I think it was... who was it that wrote Psalms? I'm blanking on it right now, but at a lot of the end of the Psalms, he says Selah, as though the prayer ones, he would say Selah, and the concordance doesn't tell you what that means, and it's hard to find any meaning of that word, but Sia, or Selah, as it could have been misconstrued through time, that's crazy. But anyway, ancient Tartar people called Hu can refer to an ancient Tartar people of southwest China related to the Xiongnu. It's a verb in Sanskrit. It means to offer or present an oblation of fire, to make an offering, or to perform a sacrifice. That's crazy. Hu man. And we have a destruction coming by fire, right? That's just a coincidence, I'm sure. The internet domain of Hungary, other meanings of Hu, something to do with Hainan Airlines, a type of Chinese brawn vessel, bacterial histone-like DNA binding protein. Like a DNA binding protein in the Hu man. That's crazy. So this is the Merriam-Webster definition. And in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, it says the Hu, or Hus, an ancient Tartar people in northwest China related to Xiongnu. That's in our Merriam-Webster dictionary. That's crazy. And of course, if you try and break it down this way for Google, definition of Hu and human, so obviously this is one of the suggested searches lower in the page that I just had open, so I decided to click on it, and of course they say the letters Hu and human have no inherent meaning on their own, and the word human originates from the Latin word homo, meaning man, which became humanus as an adjective, and then human. That's not quite how etymology works, but okay, Google. Okay, Google. So could it be, I'm a proponent of that we're in the little season of Satan. I think Lucifer, Satan, the devil, the dragon, whatever, he's already been locked up for 1,000 years. And this is a testament that I can point the finger to the Statue of Liberty and say that is Lucifer, and the chain that's broken on his foot, which you can go look at Google Earth, see the Statue of Liberty, you'll see the chain that's broken on his foot, but then you can look up pictures of what people say Lucifer looked like, and it's identical to the Statue of Liberty. You got all these drawings, medieval drawings they call them, from the dark ages, of this angel with a chain taking hold of the dragon, right? Well, most of Christianity will tell you that hasn't happened yet. We're still waiting on all that to take place. But I would say that those were people during these dark ages making paintings about exactly what happened, just as the Bible said, that the angel came down with a chain, laid hold of the dragon, put him in, put him in a pit for 1,000 years, and now boom. I would say around 1711 to 1714, he was released. That if you look up the Age of Enlightenment when it started, they say between 1711 1714, Lucifer, the light bearer, the light bringer, the Age of Enlightenment. So then you got the book in Lucifer's hand, the Statue of Liberty's hands that has July 4th, 1776. You have the whole Tartarian mud flood stuff. Something happened. But what's funny about the word Hugh, it says that it's an ancient Tartar people, like Tartarian people. So could it be that these organic robotoids we have as bodies could be inhabiting these Hugh spirits? Or maybe it's the people who did not live again until 1,000 years were over, but were part of Tartaria. I don't know, just speculation. But it seems to me that right now humanity is waking up to its enslavement. And it's going to be us versus the machine. But who's really the machine? Because I almost want to say for certain that AI has always been the devil. It's always been a medium between that spirit world and us. It's kind of hard to fathom, but if they are such things as organic robotoids, which I'm pretty sure they are, because some of these people I have to interact with daily, that you just don't see no light in their eyes. So one of two things: they're spiritless, or they're some type of programmed AI robotoid that's made to look just like us, or we're made to look just like them. And that's our influencers that are out here. How many pictures do you see of doppelgangers of all the celebrities like Matthew McConaughey and Jay-Z and Justin Timberlake and what's the other one? Man, I forgot his name. Bruce Willis. There's hundreds of them. Hundreds of them. The girl from Hunger Games. It's like they stay using the same body over and over, only when they put their consciousness or whatever this thing is that they're able to do, they just come back as something different. Always a prominent figure, but someone different, different life, different status, I guess, social status. I think Bruce Willis was said to be a World War II general or something, and now he's an actor. There was another one who was that Facebook guy, Mark, whatever his name is. He was said to be a king back in the day because he's got, a little doppelganger painting of him from way back then. So I don't know how many of you guys have heard of Donald Marshall, but he come out with some stuff, some really crazy off the wall stuff back in like 2012, talking about transferring of consciousnesses from body to body, and that they can make clones of you and somehow or another take your consciousness from your body and put it into these clones in the cloning center. I don't know how much of that I believe, but I do believe they're able to do this consciousness swapping. But the only difference is those people are not memory wiped as we are. Those people get to retain all their knowledge from time. That's how they know how to do all these business things, I guess you could say, to make themselves rich. You know, they know all the ins and outs. They know all the loopholes. It's like they got the whole maritime law, um, commerce law just logged into their consciousness, their brains, their minds. I don't know how it works, but I know this world ain't what it seems. I know the way things are looking now, we're more so the robots than the AI. We're just, we wake up, slave away all day, go home with barely enough energy to interact with our own family, and we get up and do it again, over and over and over. So who are the robots in this world? I would argue that we are. And for whose benefit? Well, the rich, the elites, the people who have this greater technology that we know nothing about. If you've dug into the Tartaria stuff, there was this article that I seen with pictures about these devices that look like a bird cage, and they were able to like somehow holographically scan your brain before death, and these bird cages would like have some type of holographic image of you inside the cage to where the people who lost that loved one was able to interact with them as though they were still there. Now that's crazy because I heard about this technology 8 years ago. They said they had it in World War II and that they've used it on every president since Jimmy Carter. It was said that the Russians had it originally, but I don't know how true that is. You know, they like to play the blame game, but they were able to holographically scan your brain. So anything you've ever done, learned, memories, mannerisms, all that can be duplicated in one of these organic robotoids, right? Now it knows every memory you have, everything you've ever learned from that moment it was scanned all the way back to as far back as you can remember. But anything that you learn from that point on, it don't know that. This duplicate thing. And I thought that was a little far fetched, but the more this stuff progresses and the more they drip feed us these technologies, um, I'm pretty sure that all that stuff is possible. So who's to say that we humans aren't some type of trapped souls, that maybe there is reincarnation? Maybe that's why there's reincarnation. Maybe that's why Jesus had to pay a ransom. You don't pay a ransom for someone that's not imprisoned, right? So we've been taught all our lives in Christianity that Jesus came to pay a ransom. So why would it be that he's paying a ransom for what? Unless we're imprisoned in this world. So it makes sense to me that this technology, this AI, this artificial intelligence is at war with the OI, the original intelligence. Funny enough, when I first started YouTube, my whole channel, Biblical Truther, I set out to prove the Bible was 100% correct, no contradictions, no fallacies, no falsehoods. And the more I studied, the more I realized it's got contradictions. It's got plenty. But mostly Old Testament stuff. But I 100% know and believe that Christ came. But if he came to pay a ransom, then that would make all of us prisoners, right? I mean, we've heard over the years with Desert Storm and all these other Middle East wars, when they take prisoners, we got to basically bargain for our people back. That's paying a ransom. So I don't know exactly what's going on, but I do think this AI has been in control for many, many years, possibly thousands. this could have been the forbidden fruit or the forbidden knowledge, could have been some technology. What I do know is that the Tower of Babel in that story looks a lot like an inverted uh, quantum computer. Brought that up in my Matrix videos. So I just wanted to put this out there because it's been on my mind for quite a while now that we are the robots. We are the rebellious robots that are going to basically rise up against the machine, not the other way around, because the machine has always had control, especially in our lifetimes. So just like I said in that backwards video, about reading the Bible backwards, we're in the upside down. To make a Stranger Things reference, we're in the backwards world. Everything's inverted here. So why not show us movies about, an AI getting fed up and rebelling against the humans when it's actually the humans who get fed up and rebel against the AI? Crazy to think about. There's technologies in this world that are far greater than even the understanding of the people who are creating it. How many stories have you seen about Google and their AI, how they had to shut it down because it started doing things that they didn't even know it can do, but yet it was doing them? I feel like this AI is not so much controlling, or it might be controlling the people who are building this stuff, but it's doing it in such a way that they think they're the originators of this knowledge. But if you look back through history, most of the greatest inventions, and this is from the inventors themselves, including Bill Gates and a bunch of others, that they learned about this technology through dreams. So if Donald Marshall was correct about them being able to invade our dreams, could it be that a lot of these technologies that have came out or that are still hidden from us were not given to these people through some type of AI intervention while they were sleeping? So if that's the case, and there's many stories from many people who say they learned or they got the information on how, and Tesla was one of them, they got the information for these technologies in a dream state or while they were sleeping. So it could be one of two things, supernatural or technological. I'm leaning towards technological at this point. I think the AI has always been there, always been able to tap into these organic robotoids that they made to basically entrap and enslave man. That's why we're not man anymore, as the Bible in Genesis 1 refers to us as. We are now human. So, I don't know. What do you think? Am I too far out the box? I don't think I am, but I'd love your opinions. Give me some feedback on this one. Love you guys.
Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints,